Hello, my name is Jay Kalagayan, and I am writer and publisher of a comic book called Mest. I started a theater company way back 22 years ago called No Theater of Cincinnati, and they focused on multicultural and just kind of the stories that needed to be told. I started as a director and a playwright, but honestly, my thinking as far as comic books started when I was 9 years old when I was collecting. I've always wanted to write and create my own comics. And what's wonderful is writing such as playwriting and directing plays is really helps you with that concept of storyboarding. With comic books. So that's been my career so far. I do also fundraising for different nonprofit organizations in the Cincinnati area and write different reviews. And honestly, any opportunity you can to just write and try different things, take those opportunities. Admittedly, some of them might be volunteer opportunities, but some might be paid work as well. When it comes to comic books, when I was nine, it was people say that comics are an escape, and I would agree with that, that sometimes that was the way. And again, we're talking about 40 some years ago. And there was no internet. There was no internet. There's no Google. There's no Wikipedia. So the way you found out about stuff to me was either outlaw things were music, and outlaw things were comic books, and that's how you were able to explore different worlds. And not just it's not just about escapism, but to me it was also characters dealing with problems and doing solutions to that. And in my mind, okay, well, those are different possibilities on how I could deal with different problems. And comics at that time were dealing with things like racism, they were dealing with things like teen problems, alcoholism. It was just thinly veiled under the guise of fighting a villain. Write and produce a comic book called Mest, and Mest is the nickname for the Metropolitan Sewer District, and it features a character named Lilliput, and she is kind of our tour guide to the weird, wet, wild world beneath our feet. I would say that people have described this comic book as kind of a Tank Girl meets Tremors meets Hellboy kind of comic. What's great about it is inspired by my daughters. I created this book, so there's no swear words. I create my own swear words, so it's very family friendly. But honestly, a regular note for the artist Dylan Speak, who I work with on all the illustrations. A regular note is please more disgusting, please more gross. So that occurs on a regular basis. So if you're not into sewers and disgusting, this book's not for you. During the pandemic, we've been isolated at home, and we're trying to keep our family safe, and we're trying to keep everyone safe from us. And it has been a great time to be creative. But again, there's that problem with the internet. There's almost too much at our fingertips and nothing else to do. So I find myself sometimes a zombie, especially. Movie trailers or YouTube videos. You just like endless stream, and I was like, all right, one more video. But there are moments where the writing occurs, where the creative process occurs, that you can outline your story and just really just pound the dialogue and the descriptions of panel to panel storytelling. And I really relish the fact that that happens. And what's nice is your social calendar. You don't feel like you have to go out. So I think the best thing to do is to really just write out a list of goals that are reasonable, like spend an hour on a script, or promote yourself for 1 hour, or yeah, and that kind of thing. Make it reasonable. Don't like write 200-page graphic novel. That's just it's too daunting, and then I'd want to watch more YouTube videos. With the internet, the world is at our fingertips. Different languages, different music, different comics, and what I think that is, it's hard because you become the master of none. You don't get to focus on any one thing. When I was collecting comic books throughout my preteens, I would read stories over and over and over again because it would be like every month until the next comic book. While we are a kind of binge society, but it is important to me that if you are binging my comic, if you are binging my story, that it is research, that is an imaginative, that it's just quirky and odd. So there might be a spot in the comic where you're like, whoa, what was that? And you might actually take a moment to research it or check it out or Google search. So you move beyond just a glance. I think that uh, in theater as well, the best thing that can happen after a show or after you read my comic is you want to talk about it or you want to learn more. And admittedly, the sad thing is if you look at my comic book and or you see a show that I helped put together, and later on you're just like, so when do you want to go eat? And you don't really think about what you just saw, or you don't want to have a conversation. So I think that the internet has really made us masters of none, and we need to really try and do deep dives on certain subjects that we really care about. As a parent, I have two daughters, and I had the opportunity, the privilege to introduce them to the things I love. But then in turn, what I didn't realize is they reintroduce those things you love back to you. And so your favorite science fiction movie or your favorite novel, your very fantasy series, you realize that it might not be as gender equitable, or it might be homogenized in race, and just certain problems, how they treat certain characters. And so I started to explore more things that I loved. And so, for example, the Studio Ghibli films, Miyazaki films like Spirited Away or Castle in the Sky, those are things that I felt better showing my daughters because it's a little bit more equitable. It's a little bit more diverse, which I really like. And that's actually what inspired me to create this comic book, to create Mest. Lilliput is the lead character, and she happens to be, she is a strong character that happens to be female, happens to be Asian. And one of the things I really wanted to accomplish is really small in that when I bring my daughters with me to a comic book store or a bookstore, they get to see someone who looks like them on the shelves. And to me, that's honestly, that was one of my main things I wanted to accomplish. So I could say that's, I can cross that off the list. One of the things that we want to do is just try and get the story out there. So if you go to our website at messed, MESSED, comics.com, they are free digitally. They're also free on Webtoons. Webtoons, we just got on there, so we're getting the whole season there for free. We've collected into a trade with two bonus stories, and you can purchase that on our website, or you can find us at Comic Cons when Comic Cons come back. So we're really looking forward to sharing the story with you. We love the feedback and the excitement everybody has when they find us after buying it. They come and find us again, or they read about us and they come find us. I mean, we love talking to people, and we want to share this story with as many people as we can.